Bumblebees only sting when they're feeling threatened, but when they're feeling safe and happy, they're actually quite friendly. As a psychologist, I often wonder if people might be like bumblebees. If we feel our own cuff and care for ourselves, does that make us kinder and more compassionate to other people? Or is being nice to yourself just indulgent and self-centered? My name is Leah, and in my PhD, I wanted to understand whether being nicer to ourselves could help us be nicer to others. To start to answer this question, I found almost 200 studies that measure both self-compassion and some sort of pro-social outcome like compassion, empathy, or helping behavior, and I compiled all of their findings into one big analysis with the power of over 70,000 people worldwide. And I found that yes, self-compassionate people are more likely to be pro-social to others. And then when we looked at a subset of those experimental findings, we also found evidence of a causal link. Teaching people to be self-compassionate also makes them kinder to others over time. But to really understand this finding, we need to figure out how and why this relationship works. So I ran some studies of my own. You see, much like bumblebees, people are social beings, and we're naturally drawn towards being pro-social. But there are also things that can get in the way of us following our moral compass. Things like increasing social inequality, the stress of cost of living, and resource scarcity. These threats can make it harder for us to act in a kind and caring way. So I'll ask you what I asked our participants. Take a second and imagine that feeling that can bubble up when you're faced with an opportunity to help someone. Maybe someone on the street asks you for money, or you drive past someone with a flat tire. As you take stock of your own privileges in that moment in comparison to that person, this unfairness of that situation really stares you in the face. This uncomfortable feeling might make you want to turn away and stop thinking about it. It might be easier to blame that person from getting into that situation, or to think of reasons why it's not your responsibility to help them. But what if instead of turning away from that discomfort, we turn towards it? What if you took a breath and offered yourself some kind and patient words like, oh, this feeling of discomfort is really hard, but I know that I can sit with this feeling and still move towards the actions that I value. In these moments, self-compassion can help give you the capacity to be able to navigate some of those tricky pro-social situations. My findings suggest that self-compassionate people are less likely to mentally avoid the situation and can better cope with the distress, which might help them navigate those moments. In our next study, we're taking it into the real world. If we teach half of our participants a self-compassion exercise and then throw them into a real-world situation, which group is going to be more likely to help? Important theoretical findings like this are the foundation of everything else that we do, from policy development to interventions to large-scale community planning. These things are so important for us to be able to understand. We know that being self-compassionate is good for our own health and well-being, but this research also suggests that it can make us better to each other too. So, can being self-compassionate make us more compassionate to others? I think bumblebees have the right idea. Thank you.